means he's going to run against me. This guy, I got him elected, and the word sanctimonious came to me immediately. I said, Ron D. I added D. Ron de Sanctimonious. It came to, like, somebody said your best was Pocahontas when she said she had Indian blood, remember? She had Indian blood. I said, let's call her Pocahontas. That was a good one. We had a lot of good ones. I don't want to go over too many because, you know, a lot of them are now friends of mine, Wesley. I never had one for Wesley. I never had one. They don't want one. Wesley said, he's saying, I don't want. Well, you had one from one of your senators here had a pretty good one, I would say, right? But, you know, but it's called branding, and you brand people. And I said, this means he's going to run. So my people backstage who get paid a fortune, they say, but you can't listen to them all the time. They're professionals. We're running a great campaign. You know, we're getting great credit. They're saying this is the best campaign Trump's ever run. That's pretty good, you know? So they're doing a good job. But my people in the back said, sir, please don't hit him, sir. Why? He's a Republican. I said, I don't care. And we hit him. We just pounded him. And now I think we're going to have to start hitting somebody else because I think Ron looks like he's finished. But it's great disloyalty. And, you know, they said to me, sir, people don't care about loyalty in a politician. They really don't care. It's not a factor that he was totally disloyal to you. I said, I think it is. And you know what? Once I said that, people said, and my people now admit they were wrong, because he fell so fast. I mean, he fell. We were leading by a lot, but now we're really leading by a lot. The only thing that could defeat us now is if we play prevent defense, like in the NFL, right? You know what prevent defense is, right? You're winning, you're stopping the other team, they're not gaining on you at all. You only have to hold them one more time. They have 0 points one more time, and the coach says, let's go prevent. And they lose the game. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. We're not going to play prevent defense at all, at all. Because this is make or break. I really believe our country is at, I believe, the lowest point it's ever been. I think when you look at what's happening outside, when you look at all of these big, unbelievable, large groups of people screaming things that you can't believe are being stated inside the bounds of our country, when you look at what's happening. So I said it with 2016. I said, this is the biggest election in the history of our country. And then we did a great job, and I didn't view 2020 that way because the country was on a good path. We had the strongest border in history. We had oil going every which direction. We were doing so well. We built the strongest economy in history, and we had no inflation. We had no inflation. Think of it. We had the strongest economy in history. We had the strongest border in history. We had everything was perfect, right? We were respected all over the world. They didn't know what to make of me, but they had a hard time with me. But we were respected all over the world. We were respected. Somebody said, you were feared. I said, well, that's even better, to be honest with you. But we were respected at a minimum. At a minimum, we were feared, too. And we did all these great things. And one little side note is that I did such a good job on the border that it was no longer an issue. If you remember 2016, I was talking border, border, border. People are coming in, they're being raped, women are being raped. And they said, oh, did he mention the rape word? Yeah, I mentioned it. And they killed me about that. Now they find out that what I said was like peanuts compared to what happens on those journeys up in those horrible caravans. What happens to women is not even describable, and I won't describe it now. But what I said was peanuts. It was baby talk by comparison to the fact. But I did such a good job in the border that when I was running, and we got millions of more votes, so I'm not blaming the border for it. But I kept saying, I want to talk about the border. They say, nobody has any interest in the border, sir, because you've got that thing in such good shape. We had the lowest numbers in the history of our country, including drug numbers, including human trafficking, which is mostly in women, by the way. It's mostly in women. We had the lowest human trafficking numbers in recorded history. We had the lowest drug. We were down 18, 19, 20%, which frankly is good, but it's not nearly good enough. But if you want to really make it down to nothing, give the death penalty to drug dealers. I just don't know if our country is, every drug dealer kills on average 500 people and destroys many families. The death penalty to drug dealers would stop that, if it was meaningful, would stop that immediately. When I was in China, Korea. So what happens is the border was so good and so strong, I couldn't talk about it. And I'd talk about, ladies and gentlemen, the border, and they're going like falling asleep on me, right? Today they don't fall asleep. Today they give us standing ovations because we have to do it again. But we had the border to the lowest point. I couldn't talk about it, but we could talk about other things. So we built the greatest economy. We did so many incredible things. Even a thing like right to try. Do you know what right to try is? If you're sick, you're terminally ill, and I hope there's nobody in this audience that has that. I hope there's nobody anywhere, but they do. If you're terminally ill, you're going to die. We have incredible space-age drugs today that are incredible. We have the greatest technicians and doctors and laboratories in the world, by far. We get knocked off by China and some of their great copycats. But we have the greatest scientists in the world for everything, for military, maybe especially. But we, the super fast, the super duper missile, as I call it, that was our design that they stole from Obama. You know that. Russia stole that design. That was our design that Russia stole from Obama. Okay, they don't talk about that when they talk about classified documents, do they? These fakers. But we have the greatest brains in the world. And we have medicines that can make you better. Or, if not, you're going to know about it fast. But there was a strict prohibition. Nobody wanted to give people the right to have medicine that maybe could make you better. Because they said, supposing it doesn't work. I said, if it doesn't work, they're going to die. And at least you're going to find out quickly. And it's one of the greatest successes. People would be terminally ill. They'd try to get a medicine. They couldn't get it in this country. It's totally illegal. If they had money, they'd go to Europe or they'd go to China, go to some of the places where they supposedly had cures. It never worked, by the way, almost never. And they'd end up dying. Sometimes they'd die in foreign lands. If you didn't have money, you'd go home and you'd die. You'd go home. Most people can't travel to Europe to find a cure, a possible cure. And I said, what's the problem? The people are going to die. They said, no, we don't want to get sued. They'll sue the country. They'll sue the doctor. They'll sue the company that makes the product. They didn't want it because they didn't want it on their records if it doesn't work because they're far down the line. And nobody wanted it except me. And I said, here's how you solve it. And we got some good lawyers in, and we took liability away from our country and from the companies. We took all the liability away. We told the people, we're going to get you what you want, everything you want, but you can't sue if it doesn't work because you're terminally ill. And they were very afraid of it. We're a very lawsuit-happy country. And now a person goes in and very quickly signs a very simple document saying they're not going to sue anybody. And we are saving thousands and thousands of lives. And even these companies so many companies that make the product, they're saying that it's incredible because they find out immediately whether or not it works because these people are very far down the line. So it's called Right to Try. Everybody knows it. Nobody back there wants to talk about it, but it's so incredible. And again, hopefully you don't need it, but it's incredible what's happened. They have done things with medicine that's unbelievable, but you won't be able to use it for 5 or 6 years. We brought it down from 12 years to get approved for a medicine to 5 years, and I was going to have it down to 2 or 3, but there are testing procedures. But we got it from 12 years to 5 years, which was great. But almost more importantly, we have